Also tonight, in a very red state, the state of Kentucky, the Democratic incumbent, he beat a rising star in your party, Daniel Cameron. Cameron was also notably endorsed by Trump. He was embraced by him and embraced Trump himself. Was that a mistake on his part?
Daniel Cameron was a rising star in the Republican Party until he decided to throw his lot in with Donald Trump. I mean, let's face it, Donald Trump is political and electoral poison down ballot. Down ballot, his endorsement has led to Republican defeats in the House, in the Senate rather, and the House in 18. In 20, we lost the United States Senate and the White House. In 22, we underperformed miserably. And tonight, you're seeing us lose again. Daniel Cameron made a huge mistake by embracing Donald Trump and selling his soul to him. That's what he did. And the voters of Kentucky, very red state, as you noted, gave their verdict on politicians who sell their soul to Donald Trump.
That was Republican presidential candidate Christie talking about the defeat of Daniel Cameron in the red state of Kentucky to Democratic governor, now reelected Governor Andy Beshear, and also Christie talking about the massive defeat and repudiation of MAGA across the country on Election Day, November 7th, 2023. I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch Network. President Biden declared victory on the evening of November 7th, 2023. He posted the following message: across the country tonight, democracy won and MAGA lost. Voters vote, polls don't. Now let's go win next year. Donate to join us. And across the country, if there was one trend we can extrapolate on Election Day, November 7, 2023, it was a massive repudiation of Trump and MAGA extremism. It was a massive repudiation of MAGA Republican policies to take away women's reproductive rights. Just look at Issue 1 passing in Ohio, making a constitutional amendment codifying a woman's right to choose. It was a massive repudiation of the MAGA culture wars. And as you saw the comparison between candidates like Daniel Cameron, the MAGA Republican candidate who embraced Trump and Trumpism, and Trump gave him an endorsement, you compare that to Democratic candidate Andy Beshear, who was talking about what could you do for the people? What can we deliver for the people? You saw that is what voters favored. What are politicians doing for us? We don't want to talk about these culture wars. And it should be noted that Donald Trump gave a massive endorsement to Daniel Cameron, the losing candidate. Here's what Donald Trump wrote: "Wow, Daniel Cameron of Kentucky has made a huge surge now that they see my strong endorsement and the fact that he's not really a McConnell guy. They only try to label him that because he comes from the great state of Kentucky. Anyway, go Daniel, great future for you and your state. You will bring it to new levels of success, and I will help you." Well, he ended up losing. And as Joe Scarborough wrote, Republicans keep losing elections in the age of Trump, and they just don't care. 2017, Republicans lose. 2018, Republicans lose. 2019, Republicans lose. 2020, Republicans lose. 2021, Republicans lose. 2022, Republicans lose. 2023, Republicans lose. So what's the plan in 2024? Christie writes, Trump-endorsed candidate Daniel Cameron loses the governor's race in deep red Kentucky. Another loss for Trump. The losing will only end for Republicans if we rid ourselves of Donald Trump. Trump, loser in 18, 20, 21, 2022, and now 2023. Folks, that is the big theme coming out of November 7, 2023's election. And the copium by MAGA Republicans was on the highest level imaginable. Let's take a look at what they were talking about on Newsmax. Here you have Rick Santorum whining about the MAGA Republican defeat. Play this clip.
And you put very sexy things like abortion and marijuana on the ballot, and a lot of young people come out and vote. It was a secret sauce for disaster in Ohio. I don't know what they were thinking, but that's why I thank goodness that most of the states in this country don't allow you to put everything on the ballot, because pure democracies are not the way to run a country.
So then, turning to Fox, here's Kayleigh McEnany talking about the MAGA Republican defeat. Play the clip.
But one thing I would note, Kentucky's a red state. Ohio's a red state. Mississippi, we don't know what will happen this evening. We hope that Reeves pulls it off, but it is a red state. Tonight, the midterm elections, the last few elections, we must recognize that as a party, good polling does not always translate into resounding victory.
Going back to Newsmax, here's Ken Cuccinelli on Newsmax talking about the MAGA Republican defeat with these Newsmax hosts who are saying maybe we don't have the right team.
As far as, it does seem like the Republican Party generally has a real problem with winning. It certainly was in the midterms here and now in this one as well. And you wonder, do we have the right people in place to be putting the messaging together to the people that are supposed to be there to get the early vote out, to do these jobs? You wonder about the RNC. Do we have the right people running the show? Because we're not doing something right. I think that's very obvious.
Yeah, Rob, I think you're right in a lot of places. I would say these state level races, RNC doesn't really play a role in voter turnout. That's run by the team on the ground. And that in Virginia is led by Glenn Youngkin. And he made an admirable effort to push more Republicans to get out earlier and vote, with the ultimate goal of having more people voting for Republican candidates. But it's not been enough.
Going to the MAGA Republican influencers, here is Cat Turd. That's something I have to remember. Like, they actually call this person Cat Turd. Cat Turd is the big MAGA Republican influencer who Don Jr. interviews and who they rely on for their polling, who does these Truth Social polls, and the MAGA Republicans and Donald Trump cite the Cat Turd polls. Maybe Cat Turd and Charlie Kirk are not the people who should be leading this, but just keep on digging that hole deeper, MAGA Republicans. Cat Turd wrote, "Good night, everyone. See you in Clown World tomorrow." Some other Cat Turd posts accusing Democrats of cheating. That's where they always have to make sure that they accuse everybody of cheating. Democrats equal cheaters, they write. And the Gateway pundit spreading lies about this election, because that's all they know how to do, spread lies about the election. Here's another one of Gateway pundit spreading lies about the election. Again, that's literally all they know how to do. Let's take a look at this other clip right here. Here we have let's pull this one up on Sean Hannity saying that Democrats are trying to scare women into thinking Republicans don't want abortion legal under any circumstances. Here, play this clip.
But Democrats are trying to scare women into thinking Republicans don't want abortion legal under any circumstances.
And here, by the way, is Christie from that same interview I showed you at the outset of this video, saying that Republicans should not underestimate President Joe Biden, and Donald Trump's going to lose to President Biden. This is coming from Christie. Play the clip.
It's looking to be, Governor Christie, a potentially good night for Democrats in Kentucky and Ohio on that ballot measure, even in the Commonwealth of Virginia. Is there a risk here that Republicans are too overconfident that Biden can be beat when it seems like voters seem open, at least, to the Democratic Party and even some of the policies that have been on the table in this off-year election?
Any Republican who's overconfident about beating Joe Biden next year is a foolish Republican. The president's incumbency will be a very strong tool on his behalf. And so if he is the candidate for the Democratic Party, which it appears he will be, he will always be a difficult opponent. He defeated an incumbent president himself just 3 years ago. So I don't think anybody should be overconfident. But what we should be concerned about is if we're going to absolutely put a loser up against him. Donald Trump lost to him in 2020. Donald Trump has led us to losers up and down the ticket for the House, for the Senate, and in governorships. This has been a disastrous run for the Republican Party, with Trump picking these candidates and embracing them, and independent voters all across this country rejecting him. That's why, Abby, I've been out there making the case against Donald Trump in a way that none of these other candidates have. The other four candidates are going to be on the stage with me tomorrow night, all raised their hand and said they would support Donald Trump even if he was a convicted felon. I mean, this is the path to defeat. We have to defeat Donald Trump in the primary to have any chance of beating Joe Biden in the general election.
I want to show you this right here, a clip of Governor of Kentucky, Andy Beshear, and I think this messaging is pitch perfect right here. This is the kind of thing Democrats are talking about. You compare that to MAGA Republicans. Let's do this. Let's do the comparison. Are you ready? Let me show you Andy Beshear right now, Governor of Kentucky. Play the clip.
But folks, this wasn't my win. This was our victory. It was a victory that sends a loud, clear message. A message that candidates should run for something and not against someone. That a candidate should show vision and not sow division. And a clear statement that anger politics should end right here and right now. Just look at what we were up against. 5 super PACs. My opponent's super PAC, Mitch McConnell's super PAC, Rand Paul's super PAC, the Club for Growth, the Republican Governors Association, all running ads full of hate and division. And you know what? We beat them all at the same time.
All right, let me show you Donald Trump in Sioux City. Play the clip.
And they're proud, they're clapping, they're going crazy. I can't do it, Mom, I can't. Boom.
And now let me show you Donald Trump in Houston, Texas. Play the clip.
I think it's bad news, bad things are happening. I'm sorry.
Americans are sick and tired of MAGA Republican extremism, the weirdness, the hatred spewed by these MAGA Republicans, the toxicity of it. Americans just want to go on. What normalcy, what compassion. It's this pro-democracy community, a big day for pro-democracy, a big day for Democrats, a big day for women's reproductive rights, a bad day for MAGA, which is a great day for our democracy. And you see all those MAGA Republicans whining all throughout the evening. Big victories by Democrats in Virginia. Big victories for Democrat in Ohio with issue 1. Big victories for Democrats across Kentucky. Big victories for Democrats across the country. We've covered it all here on the other hot takes that I did throughout the night. Make sure you hit subscribe. We're on our way to 2 million subscribers. Check us out at patreon.com/MeidasTouch as well. And have a great day, folks. And remember, let's roll up our sleeves. Let's keep on working.
Hey, Meidas Mighty. Love this report? Continue the conversation by following us on Instagram at MeidasTouch to keep up with the most important news of the day. What are you waiting for? Follow us now.